48 nations, one trophy, but their extraordinary stories began long before the first whistle blew. No politics, no travel guide cliches, just 48 of the most powerful, most surprising, most positive facts about the nations that shaped our world. Here's part one of every 2026 World Cup nation's greatest hidden superpower, the host nations. The 4 World Cup debutantes, South America's giants, and the top teams from Asia and Oceania. 24 countries. These are their superpowers. Canada, a nation so massive it spans 6 time zones, yet it is home to a town with a built-in landing pad specifically for UFOs. Beyond the humor, Canada possesses over 9% of the entire planet's renewable fresh water. It acts as a literal life support system for North America, featuring the cleanest air and wildest, most untouched ecosystems on the continent. Mexico, the country that introduced chocolate, chilies, and tomatoes to the rest of the world, also sits directly on top of the world's largest pyramid, and it is completely hidden under a mountain. Mexico is the absolute global capital of biodiversity in North America. It is home to over 200,000 distinct species, making its natural landscapes an irreplaceable treasure trove of ecological wonder. United States. The superpower famous for megacities and concrete jungles actually holds a completely different global crown. The United States pioneered the modern concept of national parks. It fiercely protects over 84 million acres of pristine wilderness, ensuring that the world's tallest trees and deepest canyons remain untouched for centuries to come. Uzbekistan, a country so deeply landlocked that you have to cross 2 other entire countries just to smell the ocean. Uzbekistan is the historic heartbeat of the ancient Silk Road. Cities like Samarkand boast architecture so intricate and mathematically perfect, it has inspired global astronomy and art for over 1,000 years. Cape Verde, a volcanic archipelago in the Atlantic where it almost never rains, yet it is rapidly becoming a green energy powerhouse. Cape Verde is a shining global beacon of marine conservation. Its pristine, protected waters host the world's 3rd largest nesting population of loggerhead sea turtles, serving as a vital sanctuary for ocean life. Curaçao, the single smallest nation by population to ever qualify for a World Cup, with fewer people than a standard college football stadium. Despite its tiny size, Curaçao is a linguistic marvel. The average citizen fluently speaks 4 languages: Papiamentu, Dutch, English, and Spanish, creating one of the most culturally harmonious and welcoming societies on Earth. Jordan, a nation surrounded by historic desert sands that holds a city carved directly into solid pink rock cliffs. Jordan is universally recognized as one of the most peaceful, hospitable, and humanitarian nations in the Middle East. It opens its borders to provide refuge, safety, and a future to millions of displaced people across the region. Qatar, a tiny desert nation where summer temperatures hit triple digits, but citizens can stroll down outdoor public shopping streets completely cooled by massive open-air air conditioning. Qatar leads the world in public safety infrastructure. It is consistently ranked by global crime indices as the safest country on Earth, maintaining a near-zero violent crime rate, thanks to highly advanced urban design and social stability. Iraq, a nation heavily associated with arid landscapes that is actually the birthplace of the legendary lush Mesopotamian marshes, a wetland paradise in the middle of the desert. Iraq is the cradle of human civilization. It gave the world the first written language, the first legal codes, and the invention of the wheel, anchoring the cultural and historical foundations of modern society. Haiti, a Caribbean nation that built a massive mountaintop stone fortress called the Citadelle La Ferrière, using the sheer collective willpower of thousands of free people. Haiti is a global pioneer of human liberty. It is the first independent nation in Latin America and the Caribbean, having executed history's only completely successful rebellion by enslaved people to form a free republic. New Zealand, an island nation where sheep outnumber the human population by more than 5 to 1. New Zealand is a world champion of gender equality. It was the very first self-governing country to grant women the right to vote in 1893, and it consistently ranks as one of the least corrupt and most progressive societies on Earth. Australia, a massive continent nation with a sprawling, dry outback, hides a hidden underground town called Coober Pedy, where residents live in subterranean caves to escape the heat. Australia is a global titan of medical innovation. Australian scientists pioneered the development of the electronic pacemaker, the bionic ear, and penicillin as a treatment. saving hundreds of millions of lives globally. Japan, a hyper-advanced technological superpower that still pauses its entire societal rhythm every spring just to sit quietly under blooming cherry blossom trees. Japan has mastered the art of longevity. It boasts the highest life expectancy on Earth, supported by a world-class healthcare system, a highly nutritious traditional diet, and a deep cultural respect for the elderly. South Korea, a nation with the fastest internet speeds on the planet, where citizens still practice the ancient, eco-friendly art of ondo, underfloor heating invented thousands of years ago. South Korea is a global powerhouse of green technology patenting. It leads the world in turning brilliant concepts into real-world environmental solutions, completely revolutionizing global smartphone tech and electric vehicle batteries. Iran, a country often viewed through a single lens that engineered the Yakchal, an ancient wind-cooled desert structure capable of creating and storing ice in the middle of summer without electricity. Iran is a global powerhouse of education, boasting one of the highest rates of female university enrollment in STEM fields worldwide, fueling a highly sophisticated scientific and medical research community. Saudi Arabia, a nation known for sprawling desert sands that is actively building a carbon-neutral, mirror-walled city stretching 110 miles long with 0 cars or roads. Saudi Arabia is driving one of the world's most aggressive ecological reclamation plans. Through the Saudi Green Initiative, the country is planting 50 billion trees across the region to fight climate change and reverse desertification. Argentina, a South American nation where the radio broadcast infrastructure was launched in 1920 just to air a single opera performance, making them pioneers of public radio. Argentina is a scientific heavyweight, holding 3 Nobel Prizes in the sciences. Its researchers developed the world's first artificial heart transplant techniques and pioneered breakthroughs in treatable immunology. Brazil, a country so massive that its northernmost point is closer to every single country in North America than it is to its own southernmost point. Brazil is the oxygen engine of the Earth. It protects over 60% of the Amazon rainforest, hosting the most complex and vital pool of terrestrial biodiversity on the planet, which regulates our global climate. Colombia, a nation that produces the world's most premium coffee, yet its national drink is hot chocolate served with a slice of salty cheese melted at the bottom. Colombia is the absolute orchid capital of the world. It possesses the highest diversity of bird and orchid species on Earth, heavily utilizing its rich ecotourism framework to preserve pristine tropical ecosystems. Ecuador, a country named after the equator where you can effortlessly balance a raw egg on the head of a nail due to the unique gravitational pull at latitude 0. Ecuador was the first nation in human history to officially declare that nature has legally enforceable constitutional rights, making it a legal trailblazer for global environmental protection. Uruguay, a tiny nation where cows outnumber human beings 4-1, yet every single cow is tracked by a mandatory, state-of-the-art, electronic GPS tag. Uruguay is an absolute green energy superhero. Over 98% of its total electricity grid is generated purely from renewable sources like wind and solar, proving that a modern economy can completely eliminate fossil fuels from its power grid. Paraguay, a completely landlocked nation that surprisingly boasts one of the largest naval fleets in the world to navigate its massive, sprawling river systems. Paraguay is a global leader in clean electricity exporting. Thanks to the massive Itaipu Dam, the nation generates 100% of its electricity cleanly and exports its immense surplus to power neighboring countries across South America. Panama, the only place on Earth where you can watch the sun rise over the Pacific Ocean and set over the Atlantic Ocean from the exact same mountain peak. Panama is one of only 3 countries on Earth that is officially carbon negative. Its dense rainforest and protected marine areas absorb significantly more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere than the entire nation emits. Bosnia and Herzegovina, a European nation where you can walk through Perućica, one of the last remaining completely untouched prehistoric rainforests in Europe. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a pristine freshwater sanctuary. It holds some of the cleanest, most untouched river systems in Europe, acting as a critical refuge for rare continental wildlife and pristine ecotourism.